pregnant women and diagnoses of autism in children. Lisa Carton has that.
The findings support existing recommendations from medical groups like the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists on the safety of using acetaminophen for pain relief or fever during pregnancy. President Trump and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. sparked controversy in September when they both said they believe Tylenol use in pregnancy may be leading to a rise in autism diagnoses.
The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, is sharing criticism for reports that 1,500 active duty soldiers are ready for possible deployment to Minnesota amid ongoing anti-ICE protests there. Fry tells CNN's State of the Union the move is clearly designed to intimidate. Scott Carr, NBC News Radio.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
From energy to public health, extreme weather, the economy, and more, Climate Connections makes the global local. Hear it weekdays during the Tom Hartman program and during Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive, right here on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
Choose Views with Richard Chu.
It's taking action that matters. Whether it was 600, 6,000, or 600,000 people out, there's the impact of the voice being heard, but it's also we feeling like I'm not just sitting watching this train go by, this horror show go by, and not doing something. And then when you find that there are more like-minded people than you realize, you understand that there are more of us than there are of them.
Richard Chu, weekday mornings at 6 on WCPT 820.
WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Scott Duff here along with Ellen Miller.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's cold.
Chilly willy.
Yes, we now return you to your regularly scheduled January in Chicago.
Indeed. Yeah, it was nice while it lasted.
It was lovely, but I'm weird. I like the cold.
Some people do.
I know. I like the cold as long as there's sunshine. It'll be okay.
The sun helps.
The sun, it just helps your mind.
Makes all the difference.
You could always put more clothes on. You can never take enough off. Even if you're nudie naked,
that's what people who
you
love
are still
cold say.
hot.
Yeah, they always say that.
It's true because it's true.
Okay.
You're just a lizard person. That's the.
My people are from the southernmost part of Europe, so what can I say?
They get cold there.
They like it warm, though. We like it warm.
I enjoy the warmth,
Yeah.
but I don't like to be hot.
It doesn't get that cold where my people are from. Not
All
that
right.
cold. But
well, there we go. And we have learned something today.
It's my blood.
There we are. Fantastic. Well,
I think, what can I say?
there you go. Well, hey, we've got a great show for you today that'll hopefully keep you warm and toasty. Chicago Therapy Collective promotes citywide action to alleviate LGBTQIA2S health disparities and advance queer liberation through therapy, education, and the arts. And they've got big plans for this year. Director of Clinical Programs and psychologist Lindsay Doyle is going to be joining us this hour. And Timeline Theater Company, look, they're having a banner year, man. They're getting ready to open up their brand new
very
space.
excited for them.
It's so beautiful. But right now, they are presenting the Chicago premiere of the Tony Award-winning play Eureka Day, which is a sharply funny satire of progressivism, parenting, and public health. They have partnered up with Broadway in Chicago, and we're going to be chatting with actor Aurora Adachi-Winter later on in the show. And the Elmhurst Art Museum presents Living with Modernism. Kelli Connell, showcasing 2 series by the Chicago-based artist. Now, the exhibit places queerness, power structures, and shifting ecologies in the 21st century in conversation with 2 giants of modernism, Edward Weston and Mies van der Rohe. And Kelli Connell joins us in the second hour.
Welcoming her.
I know. I'm very excited about all this. And, of course, you can listen live Sundays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central on 8:20 a.m. on TuneIn from heartlandsignal.com, or you can watch the live video stream on the WCPT Facebook page or the Heartland Signal YouTube page. And, of course, we would love to hear from you, so give us a call at 773-763-9278. That number again is 773-763-9278. And if you don't feel like chatting with us, well, hey, that same number, you can text us, and we can read your text on air. So again, 773-763-9278. What's going on, Ellen Miller?
Winter, hibernating a little bit this week, but we did get out Friday night to see Susie Eddie Izzard at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater.
Girl, she is like, pull the string and just watch Chatty Cathy go.
It was a Q&A situation. Their artistic director, who's also British, was the master of ceremonies. He interviewed him a little bit, asked some questions, and then opened it up to the crowd. But, Scott, my takeaway from both having Susie on with us last week and from spending an hour and a half with her at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater is she shows up.
Oh, yeah.
She shows up.
100%.
She's done the marathon, some 50 marathons, giving millions of dollars to charity. She fights for the Labor Party. She's politically active. She flew here to do this free of charge. I mean, they might have paid, I'm sure they paid for her flight, but she's not charging a fee to do this benefit for Chicago Shakespeare Theater. It was both Friday and Saturday nights, very well attended. Wonderful people in the audience asking great questions, and she shows up. She is really a force of nature.
Yeah.
And I was thinking throughout the weekend after listening to, did Hamlet in 3 different languages. She's about to go to India and do it. I mean, the marathons, all of it. And I'm just like, I'm inadequate.
I know.
I think I do a lot. I don't do enough.
Yes.
So the takeaway for me, Scott, is show up. Do what you can, especially where we are right now, where we are in this world, where we are in this country, in this time. Show up, whether it's going out to the detention center, whether it's giving money, whether it's writing to Congress people. Show up, because that's what Eddie Izzard, Susie Izzard does. So that was my takeaway from the weekend.
Yeah. Have you gone back and looked at some of her early stand-up stuff?
I have not.
You treat yourself.
Okay, I would do that.
Treat yourself.
I'm all over it.
Yes,
yeah.
She's very funny as a stand-up and the stream of conscious kind of thing.
Her brain is like she's like
moving.
savant.
Yeah, it is moving at like the speed of light.
It totally
is. I know.
So besides waking up sexy as hell again,
I know,
what's going on with you?
Nothing. I had kind of a chill week. I got to see my sister was in town.
I saw that. Lovely.
She was hanging out with her grandbaby.
That little baby Everett is so cute.
There's nothing little about that baby. That baby is gigantic. That baby is not
healthy.
That baby is not 4 months old. That baby drove their car there. That kid is huge.
But that's healthy. That's good.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, no, it's abnormal. I'm telling you. Well, his parents are also very, very tall. Like, Dad is 6'5".
That's going to happen.
I know, but like after I went out to lunch with them, I got to hang out with, my sister, my favorite person on the planet, and baby Everett, which was really, really great to see him and hang out with him. I had to go to the snack factory, and I was like, at least 4 people came through my line that had 4-month-old babies, and I'm like, oh, that's what they're supposed to look like. This kid is huge.
Well,
huge
like I said,
and so
it's
cute.
Not a bad thing.
And so cute.
Oh, he was very cute. I saw your photo.
I know. I'm just sending pictures to you. I'm like, look, I'm hanging out with these kiddos right here. Yeah, and we've kind of like we're taking a chill. We've been dog sitting, so we've got like
those
the
dogs
good boy
were
gang.
adorable.
I know they're all
pictures.
great. We got the good boy gang all together.
They look so calm and zen-like.
They are very calm and zen-like.
Yeah, I like that.
So we've just been like hanging out with pups.
It's kind of a good hibernation thing, right?
100%.
Put your huggy on.
Yeah, hugga.
Hugga.
I'm a huggy.
Yeah, hugga. I have a huggy.
Okay. Who don't? Are you going to be wearing it for the game? The big game that happens at 5:30 today at Soldier Field. And it's going to be the coldest ever game in one of the coldest Bears history. And the Rams are not from St. Louis anymore.
No, they're not. They're not from St. Louis
They're in L.A.,
anymore.
but they haven't played a game in under 40-degree weather, so it might play advantage to the Bears because the cold weather will make the ball harder to handle.
Very good. Very, very good.
I
very
did
good boy.
my research.
You get an A+ for that.
Don't call me a good boy. I'm a man.
You're a good man,
There
Charlie
we
Brown.
are. That's it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. We have a baby shower at a bar before that, and we may stay
A baby shower at a bar?
Yeah, those are my friends' kids are in from Portland, Oregon, to have I haven't met his wife, and they're pregnant, and
they're having
a party at a
bar. It makes me think of the Reese Witherspoon movie Sweet Home Alabama, where she's like, "You got a baby."
You got a baby
in a bar.
Well, the baby hasn't been born yet.
I know, but so mom's just going to be throwing them back? Is that what's happening there?
I don't know. I'll let you know next in 2 weeks. But anyway, I think they want to. It's not just it's for every. It's
right.
For,
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. It's my dear friends who passed away's kids, so I feel close to them, and I'm excited.
Is this their first?
This is their first.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's exciting. Mom's doing okay.
I guess I've never met the mom. I couldn't make the wedding. I was invited, but it was during Muskie Fest a couple of years ago, and
we got Muskie Fest.
I couldn't get out of that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that, and we might. It's a bar on Lincoln Avenue, not far from our house, so we might. There's a private room in the back, and we might stay and watch the game. We'll feel it out, but I'm excited for the afternoon for many different things.
So is the game more preferable to watch? See, here's the thing. I do enjoy going to sports.
Yeah.
Like if you take me to a game, I'm all in. I don't get bored watching it on TV. I think that's where I am. Is it preferable for you to watch in a bar or to watch at home?
I generally watch at home. Now, when the Bulls went for their run years ago, and there was many, many games that were played, we were watching from Shuba's. That was our good luck charm. They took the music room and made it a viewing room.
Okay.
And we were there for every game, and it was like a religious experience. But for football and for baseball, I need to concentrate. I need to be able to watch. So we're going to...
suss it out.
I'm going to suss it out. They said the shower is supposed to end at 6, but since there's a game, they're saying they're letting people into the back room at 5. We're welcome to stay. If there's a great screen and I can hear really well and I've got a great seat, it's a lot of fun to watch among other fans.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So we're gonna call an audible whether we're gonna go home and watch the game or watch it there. Generally, we like to be at home because we're serious and we don't want to be distracted. And I don't drink anyway.
Right.
But yeah,
because we're serious.
We're serious about the game.
Because we're serious.
I want to hear every moment about the game. I'm just, I'm dialed in. I'm not a casual fan. I'm kind of
right. No, you are hardcore.
Yeah, I'm hardcore.
Right.
So that's
what is
my
it with
answer.
sports announcers that have that really weird nasal? They all sound nasally.
They're former athletes trying to be sportscasters.
Yeah, here we are.
I mean, Paul, you're a big fan. Where do you like to watch the game?
As long as it's with somebody, it doesn't matter if it's home or out. But there's something about the atmosphere when you're amongst fans of the team at a bar. Like I watched the Bears Packers at a bar.
Yeah,
it was a unique experience. And there's like one Packers fan there, so like. It's fun. It's fun when you have like even both teams, but even when it's like somebody to share it with that roots for the team that you're rooting for.
Yeah,
so it's about camaraderie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is fun if you have.
Dare I say community, which is my word for the year.
Yes, it is.
Look at that. See, you're reaching out. You're creating community, being a part of community.
That is part of it.
I try.
We need all the community we can get right now.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Oh, speaking of community, there was some sad news this week.
Yes.
Rick Garcia, the longtime Chicago gay activist who played a key role in passing Chicago's human rights ordinance, died on January 12th. He was age 69. He was a central figure in Chicago and Illinois LGBTQ plus civil rights advocacy for decades, helping to build the political infrastructure that led to expanding protections against discrimination at the city, county, and state levels. And he later co-founded Illinois Federation for Human Rights, which is now known as Equality Illinois, which, as we all know, has become a central force in advancing LGBTQ plus civil rights legislation across the state. Big loss for us.
Another one that makes you go, wow, what have I done lately? When you look at the accomplishments that a man like Rick Garcia made over the many, many years. And, you can honor people like tomorrow's Martin Luther King Day. You can honor people like Rick Garcia, by doing something you don't normally do, by showing up.
Look, me, I love the fact that like this whole showing up thing. What I long to do, what I wish would happen on Martin Luther King Day is that it would be a national day of service. Yes. I think that right there is a big thing. Taking the work of Martin Luther King, and giving back.
I'm sure
to the
Ding
community.
Dong will be, passing out, meals at a homeless shelter.
Oh,
or something.
100%. Yeah. He'll be passing out meals in Greenland.
Mm-hmm.
But he's too busy making his great healthcare plan. It took a long time to type that page and a half.
It's
great.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great.
Going to be great. Just like, here's $2,000. I'm going to give you $2,000 for you to spend on your insurance. This is a man that has no idea what insurance costs.
Oh, yeah.
He is completely out of touch. We know he's mentally ill at this point, going, off. I mean, he's just like off the rails. $2,000. I was paying, before I had got my Medicare, $1,500 a month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but $2,000 should be great. Well, it's because you're saving all that money because you're only spending $3.99 a meal.
At good old
so you could have your piece of chicken, your piece of broccoli, your tortilla, and something else. Mm-hmm. Girl, we're in the upside down. We are in the upside down, and it's.
I'm glad we're having the Lindsay on to talk about therapy, because it doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ, if you're straight, whatever you are, we all need a little help right now.
Yeah.
Because everybody is like, what TF? What is going on?
Yeah.
This Greenland thing. I mean, 70% of the country is not for taking Greenland.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it does not matter. He has had this in his sights because he's a property guy.
I know. It's just so,
it makes my skin crawl.
It makes the sound you hear most days are the eyes rolling back into my skull.
I know.
It's just, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand how people support him. Clearly, a majority of the country just hey, pump the brakes on Greenland. We don't need it. What are you talking about? It's just some weird sort of colonialism sort of thing that he wants to get into. And it's all, again, a big distraction to all of the stuff that's going on here. The
economy, the Epstein files.
The awfulness that's happening in Minnesota still.
And he wants to gin it up so he can bring in the troops. I mean, it is... that Kristi Noem was on this morning on the morning news show.
Oh, that
I was
one.
Screaming at the TV. Kathy goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "Oh, yeah, she's on." Just her answers, she is a robot. She is inhuman. She is cruel. She's disgusting. She makes my skin crawl. She's just horrible. She's a horrible human. Mm-hmm. She's a horrible human.
Yes. Yes, most of them are.
Yeah, he's got a real cabal going up.
He's got a real bunch of lovely folks.
Oh,
Stephen Miller.
A very.
Do you remember that? Was it the Examiner? There was that tabloid where they had Bat Boy. They found Bat Boy. It was back at it was the best. I think it was. It's not the National Enquirer, but it was something along World News. Some tabloid back in the 80s.
Okay.
Do you remember standing in the grocery line? There'd always be people that are an alien is blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But there was one thing about Bat Boy found in a cave, and it was this that is Stephen Miller. He is a little Bat Boy,
and he's been that way. I mentioned on the show they had clips of him when he was running for student president, and he said, "I'm not going to why should students pick up their trash? That's what janitors are for." And that was one of his platforms, and they literally had to physically remove him from the podium. I mean, this guy's been crazy his whole life. But let's elevate him to be in control of our immigration situation.
Everybody's just awful, awful.
Something's got to give here, Scott. Something has got to give.
Well, it's Congress. Congress needs to step up and do their job.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about every single day somebody coming on and taking him to task? Whether it's Kamala Harris or Tim Walz or Barack Obama, I don't care who it is. Every single day, someone needs to be calling this out.
Mm-hmm. Well,
besides Heather Cox Richardson, who calls it out, but she's, somebody that's appearing on. I don't know what it's going to take, but we need a constant reminder of how crazy this is from people that are sane.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how much Kamala can do. Or even President Obama,
or Pete. I mean, somebody's who's got their eye on the presidency in 3 years, and there's more than one somebody.
You've got Shapiro in Pennsylvania stepping up. You've got JB,
Gavin,
of course,
he steps up
all the time. Gavin Newsom also stepping up.
I want more. I want more.
Congress. We need Congress. All this slush fund situation happening with the Venezuela oil that he's in charge of. That's not right. It's not right. So many of the stuff that's happening is not right. And actually, that the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, they put out 2 reports this week. One is called 1 Year In, which is basically a pretty stark assessment of what the first year of Trump's second term has meant to LGBTQ folks. And then there was another one called 1 Year Out, a playbook for the upcoming elections that are happening. We're going to dive into that in the next segment, so we should probably take a break. But before we go, this part of Out Chicago is brought to you by Team Hochberg. If you are struggling to make your mortgage, auto, and credit card payments, you are not alone and need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. So during the first quarter of 2025, last year, more than 12% of credit card accounts, approximately 5% of auto loans, and nearly 1% of mortgages were more than 90 days past due, which is the highest in the past 15 years. So if you're having challenges making your payments, the best time to contact Team Hochberg is today, not tomorrow, not next week, and not next year. Call Team Hochberg now, 855-563-2843, for a free consultation with an experienced Team Hochberg mortgage professional. If you qualify, Team Hochberg will help you consolidate your debt, enhance your credit, and reduce your monthly payments. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of WCPT listeners, but they can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. The number again is 855-563-2843, and the website you know and love, 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be talking about the Human Rights Campaign's assessment about how the first year, it's shocking. Thank you, Project 2025. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
This is a WCPT Civil Rights Snapshot. Percy Julian was born in 1899 in Birmingham, Alabama. His mother was a school teacher and stressed education. Percy achieved academic success throughout his youth and graduated from DePauw University in 1920. Racial discrimination diverted Mr. Julian from his preferred career path and graduate studies, but he did earn a PhD in chemistry in Vienna, Austria. Julian returned to the U.S. and a professorship at Howard University. In 1935, he entered private industry and eventually started his own company. Mr. Julian married and settled in the Chicago area. In 1950, his home was set ablaze by an arsonist, and 1 year later, a bomb narrowly missed his children while they slept. Despite racial adversity, Percy Julian earned international accolades for pioneering research and paved the way for black scientists in education and industry. You can learn more about this great American at blackinventor.com. And please stay vigilant about our civil rights. The fight is never over.
WCPT Replay.
John Fugelsang. Listen, y'all, the dude wrote a book called Separation of Church and Hate. What a great title. Tell us a little bit what's happening in that space.
Well, and I'm so grateful to you and all the deeply attractive listeners of WCPT for supporting this book. So I wrote this book for years ago about how to use the Bible for believers and atheists, because even if you don't believe in Jesus, if you're debating a right-wing Christian on any of the issues that divide us, Jesus is probably on your side, whether he's a literal figure or not. They don't care about the teachings of Jesus. They don't care about religious freedom. They don't give a damn what God tells you to do in the Bible. They care about conservative Christian power. That's it. Jesus' movement was all about humanity and all about humility. He was not about total right-wing domination of the school board.
Keep listening to WCPT 820, because facts matter.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Hey, this is Mark Patton, and I'm from Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, and you're listening to Out Chicago.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, just rolling along. I want to thank folks who have been texting us on the text line at 773-763-9278 for clearing up some very valuable information. Yes, Bat Boy was from the Weekly World News. The Weekly World News.
Was that a publication? I'm not familiar with it.
Oh my gosh, really? I used to actually, I would take it out and I would cut it up and tape it to paper to make stationery out of it. Like make Xerox copies of like the eagle swoops in and steals Chihuahua. But
so it spoke to you.
It spoke to me, yes, because it was just so crazy. And they also had the Clintons meeting space aliens with really bad costumes that you could see their panty lines. Thank you, Weekly World News, and thank you for.
I don't think I was paying attention to that year.
Well, oh man,
to that.
You weren't in the right grocery stores.
I guess I was.
Apparently not. There we are. So to kind of bring everybody down for a little bit, for a sec. So the Human Rights Campaign, they're the good folks that are out there fighting for LGBTQ equality nationwide. They put out 2 reports this week. And one of them was about the first year of Ding Dong's second term and what it has meant to LGBTQ Americans. It's called 1 Year In. And Kelly Robinson, president of the HRC, she wrote, quote, Project 2025 wasn't innovation, it was amplification. The attacks that used to come from state houses now come from the White House, backed by the full power of the federal government. The result is devastating. Funding for LGBTQ health research slashed. Protections we fought for decades to secure ripped away. But here's what makes me angry. They don't even want you to know how bad it is. The CDC has stopped collecting data on LGBTQ plus Americans. The Census Bureau has stopped counting us. The Department of Labor has stopped tracking us. Now think about that. They are erasing us from the record. Not because we don't exist, but because they don't want any evidence of what they're doing to us. If they don't count the harm, they don't have to answer for it. Well, we will refuse to be erased, and we refused to be silent.
Amen.
That is from Kelly Robinson, president of the HRC. There were a couple of different things. They were focused on visibility, healthcare, economic prosperity, and financial security and affordability. That's kind of what they were looking at on the whole thing. And it's crazy. Almost 50% of LGBTQ folks have reported being less out in certain situations, whether it be at work or out in public or whatever. Over 50%. Think about that. That's huge.
It's horrible. It's going backwards.
That is huge. I mean, things are. It's just cuckoo bananas. So the Trump administration. They threaten to outdo the progress we've made by erasing all of us from federal policy and American history, which is so important as to why we have like Owen Keenan, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago, talking about giving an oral history. That's why like Windy City Times is still out there moving forward and telling our stories and telling, putting queer folks at the fore. We have to keep telling our stories, and visibility is, again, a very, very huge thing. I remember when I was coming up in the 90s, that was a huge part of our of civil rights, of our fight for equality.
Yeah.
It was just being out and visible, showing everybody that we're everywhere, and we are everywhere. But again, like, outness is fading. Nearly half of LGBTQ adults report being less out somewhere in their lives over the past 12 months. We're talking about like at workplaces, with healthcare, and with public spaces. Visibility is slipping. More than half of LGBTQ plus adults report being less visible than a year ago. And 40% of LGBTQ parents with school-age children report being less visible at schools, which is the highest of all measured environment. Like, it is just, this is what the real effects of
erasure is a tool of authoritarian government.
Yeah, I know.
And whether you're a brown or black person, whether you're a gay person, let's face it, the message, subliminal or not, is erasure, is get rid of them. I heard there was a counter protest to the protesters. So people that were pro-Trump, we are being replaced. This guy was on a bullhorn
sort of thing.
And
Are they? Where are you talking about? In Minnesota?
In Minnesota, yeah. And they were more counter protesters to these counter protesters. I mean, they're counter to them. But I see the sign, and it's like.
Well, it takes us back to Virginia.
Charlottesville.
When the replacement.
Yes,
theory.
Exactly.
And it is nothing but white grievance.
They want to erase people that are not like them. It's just plain and simple. When you've got masked men with weapons of war pulling innocent people out of their cars, shooting innocent people in their vans as they're pulling away, it's just frightening. It's on everybody's mind. We're trying not to dwell on it, but it's in our faces because we care. Because who wants to see an America that looks like what we've been seeing these last weeks and months in our country at the hands of ICE? And I'm like, I had this fantasy this morning. I'm like, what can we do? What kind of mass protest? A day of not going to school, not going to work? I mean, what would it take?
That's what they're planning in Minnesota, I believe. They're planning on doing a big day strike.
I mean, we need to strike. We need to do something that's so huge. Because a friend of mine, Dave Miller, he's an activist. He was at the Broadview Detention Center yesterday with, I saw those maybe 100 people there, whatever. I'm like, thank you for going, thank you for showing up. But that's not going to do it. We need a mass movement in this country now that is going to send a message to these Congress people who are sitting on their hands and say, this is too much. It's beyond the pale.
No, I agree. 100%. I don't know, but there's a part of me thinking like, okay, so what does a massive day of like not buying anything or not going to work, whatever, what does that do?
I don't know. I'm willing to find out because I just don't know. We can't accept this. We don't want riots in the streets because we know they'll do what they're doing in Iran. The man makes us all crazy. He's defending their right to protest in Iran and killing and shooting and maiming and arresting people that are protesting here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's the upside down.
It is totally the upside down that's happening. Yeah.
Do any callers have thoughts on this? What are your thoughts? What can we do if you're feeling helpless, if you want to show up?
I know. We should probably open the phone lines, Paul. So, the only thing that we need to do is we got to get Congress to get off their butts and do stuff. That's the big thing. We also have to get, elected officials in there. We got to change things up that are happening here.
I know.
There's just so much that is happening and that is going.
And you keep hearing these people saying, Republicans, quietly agree. Quietly? What the heck's wrong with you? You are supposed to be the voice of the people. You quietly agree with the Democrats on a lot of things about Trump because he's so crazy. Well, you're spineless if you quietly agree
they are 100%
and aren't
spineless.
Loudly disagreeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Continue. We've gone away from the HRC, so I'll let you keep going. Keep going. Yeah.
I echo your sentiments about Congress, and we know that a lot of them know they are so concerned with their own power and their own success, and not the success of this country and democracy.
And that's the part that I don't understand. Why there's who wants to be powerful in this world? I guess that's the only way you're going to survive is what it seems like, because you have this weird economy that is happening. Middle class and poor folks are going down while the rich keep getting richer. That is definitely happening. The K sort of recovery from the pandemic that we're still dealing with right now. I don't understand how people who have family and friends who are part of the queer community who can stand for the erasure of us, of all of us.
About how
I don't know if that's blinders or if it's just like sheer will. Like they just don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to acknowledge how awful everybody has it right now. And how everybody is being torn apart. We've got a secret police That's what ICE is.
They
are a secret police.
Their faces are covered.
They don't wear any identification. They are using bullying tactics. They are murdering people in the streets. They are breaking windows and dragging people out of cars. This is like Gestapo stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This is what has been going on. And this is what's happening right now. And it's affecting everybody.
I don't know how, and let's face it, there are Republicans, they're good people too. They want we always say this, we all want the same things. We want to live a happy life, a healthy life. We want to, be good to our neighbors. How they can turn a deaf ear to this is beyond me. The fact that there are 40%, yes, there's 50-some% that are disapprove of him, but there are 40% that still approve. Part of it we know is the propaganda that they're getting from their news sources and their social media sources. And that's the scary part, Scott. We talked about it
now,
at
what
dinner.
I think would be much more effective is if everybody took down their social media use to like under an hour a day. That would tank. That would send.
I agree, but good luck. Yeah,
well,
we're so addicted, including me.
I know. So then you can take steps to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like quitting smoking or quitting drinking. It's a habit, and you have to kind of move through that. But I think that would be a bigger message sent to like all of these tech bros who are, again, controlling the information that is coming on with the algorithms. They're getting support from advertising dollars, and that's all that most social media is these days.
Right.
It's just nothing but sponsored ads, sponsored. So if we as a country take if you just cut in half, it would be like taking away money from them. Mm-hmm. Like that's a big thing. That's what's going. Like that to me seems like a very big.
How about a day of social media blackout?
Right. But like, as you said, good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Because people just want to scream into the void. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what's going on. Look, here's what we do have to think do. There was another report that came out from the HRC that was about their playbook called 1 Year Out, which is a playbook for candidates. And I think it's a playbook that we all should just really kind of look at. You need to share your story early and often. Just like this is advice for like people who are wanting to run for office, which I think if you are considering it, please do it, but just stand up and like stand firm with who you are. Equality is actually a winning issue. Like that is the
more people are
for equality than they are against it. I mean this is the thing. The way that they have framed, the way that MAGA has framed everything is like it is a party of grievance. It is a party of people who are saying you don't have something because these people do, and that is ridiculous. We have to remember again. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Equal rights for others does not mean less rights for you. It means none of that. You have to be out there. If we're out there sharing our stories as regular citizens, sharing who we are, sharing our values, sharing like what we're about, the things that we are really up against. The fact where I'm like, hi, I don't know if I can actually talk about my partner for 22 years. With somebody that I just met. I don't know if that's okay. Like that is a big thing. And I will always be vocal about who I am as a part of the LGBTQ community. Because once you see somebody who is nice, who is standing in front of you, it's hard to hate them. That is something. So you've got to be out there sharing your story, and you've got to lead with your values. I've said this again millions of times. Live your values, and especially like shared values when they are expressed authentically. They can also be motivate believers and persuade skeptics and help candidates diffuse attacks. You just got to be like, I don't understand how taking rights away is making you more free. It doesn't make any sense.
They're preying on fear.
I know, and that's why we have to
sow
lead.
The seeds of fear.
So we need to lead by being vocal. We got to come out. We got to stay out of the closet. We can't go back in at work or in social situations or in public. We just have to be be ourselves, and we've got to live our values, and you have to let's just talk about things directly. There are so many anti-equality candidates. They often are talking about equal rights as special rights. We all know there is no such thing as special rights. That's happening right now. And the HRC survey, they found out that when they have gone addressed, that argument can be effective about how it's special rights. It's no, we've got to counter that message. It is not a special right. It is we just want equality for everybody. That is what this country was founded on.
That's true.
Again, equal rights for others does not mean less rights for you. And then we've got to just make sure that you are turning the tables. You have candidates who are trying to remove rights, but more folks support laws that make it illegal to discriminate against someone based on their gender identity or sexual orientation. Here's some things just to keep in the back of your mind. 88% oppose legislation that would limit health care for those who need treatment with HIV. 77% oppose legislation that would force transgender people off transition-related medication. 75% believe Congress should prohibit discrimination against LGBTQ plus people, including against transgender people. And 73% believe Congress should protect the right to same-sex marriage. Those are big numbers in our favor.
Yeah.
And that is the message that we have to keep driving home. The majority of the people want this. Equality is a winning issue. And I think we, in our own lives, as we are going out into our communities, as we're reaching out with our coworkers or wherever we are, we just have to remind people that we are human beings and our rights are being stripped away.
And I think people do get that, as evidenced by these polls. It's that we have a dictator that does not care about democracy and what the majority wants.
Oh, agreed. But the only way that we can get rid of the dictator is by changing hearts and minds. And the way you can do that is you need to change hearts and minds by being you, being visible, being proud, and countering. Again, equal rights for others does not mean less rights for you.
I think the only hope to take away is that his popularity is dropping by the day. So more people are feeling that he is not an example of what we want in this country.
Well, all that I know is that we can't back down right now.
No,
so
we can't.
We've got to be very, very fortified. And on that note, we should probably take a break. I'm getting all worked up over here.
It's understandable. There's a lot to get worked up about.
I know. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, thank goodness we got the Chicago Therapy Collective on.
Come on.
I need a little head shrinking going on. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're speaking with Lindsay Doyle, Director of Clinical Programs and a psychologist for the Chicago Therapy Collective. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Step into a world of obsession, seduction, and shocking consequences with Salome at Lyric Opera of Chicago, January 25th through February 14th. With Strauss's electrifying score and a powerhouse cast, this intense one-act thriller will leave you breathless. Experience the drama and danger of Salome live on stage. Tickets at lyricopera.org.
WCPT 820 will be hosting a candidate forum for the 3 leading candidates for Illinois' open United States Senate seat in the Democratic primary on February 6th.
Please join us at the Plumbers Hall at 1340 West Washington in Chicago, or listen to the live broadcast.
Representative Raja Krishnamurthy, Representative Robin Kelly, and Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton will be discussing their stances on the issues and making their case for your vote.
WCPT hosts Patty Vasquez, Richard Chu, and of course Jonas Esposito will be moderating the forum.
To attend in person, go to heartlandsignal.com/WCPT820 and register. We'll have limited seats available, so please register early.
Meet the leading Senate Democratic candidates at a free WCPT Live Candidate Forum at Plumbers Union Hall, Local 130 on Washington Street in Chicago, Friday, February 6th.
The forum starts at 1 p.m. and is sponsored by Plumbers Union Local 130.
You're listening to WCPT 820, because facts matter.
Hey everybody, this is Tanya Richard from Tanya's Take, Race, Culture, and the Culture of Race, and you are listening to Out Chicago, WCPT.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, rolling along on a chilly January day. Hey, Monday on Choose Views, Richard Chew is actually going to be off for the Martin Luther King holiday. He'll be back Tuesday with guest Malcolm Kenyatta, Pennsylvania State Representative and Vice Chair of the Democratic National Committee, former Republican Congressman turned Democratic pundit and podcaster Joe Walsh, and Democratic candidate for Congress Jeff Cohen. That's Choose Views weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. Central on WCPT 820 AM, the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So that's what's happening tomorrow. But what's happening right now, the Chicago Therapy Collective promotes a citywide action to alleviate LGBTQIA2S health disparities and advance queer liberation through therapy, education, and the arts. And they have got big plans coming up for this year. Joining us now is Director of Clinical Programs and Psychologist Lindsay Doyle. Lindsay, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I am sure that you are busy these days.
Yes.
How are you holding up?
You know, we are just trying to kind of stay with and meet the moment. And while, the mental health system continues to be crunched, stressed, challenged, specifically for our queer LGBT community members, we are just meeting the moment by doubling down.
Yeah. And thank you for that, for showing up. It's amazing. So for folks who might not be familiar with the Chicago Therapy Collective, y'all were founded in 2018. Can you tell us a little bit about the impetus for creating the collective?
Absolutely. We are all therapists, community mental health workers, community workers, organizers of some sort, and artists, and really recognizing that when you tune in and really listen and connect at a lot of different levels in a lot of different ways to the needs of the community, we were recognizing gaps, whether that's through direct mental health, but also awareness, opportunity for jobs. I think we've probably been most known at different points in time for our Hire Trans Now work, which is kind of flipping the script, and instead of saying, hey, it's on you to improve your skills and get yourself that job, holding employers accountable and supporting them in their ability to actually bring in and hire trans, hire queer. Recognizing that a lot of our community members, their mental health would be improved if we addressed some of those systemic and community factors. We've made a lot of inroads there, and we've also been supporting cultural competency and accessible care for the community through a network, a kind of collective network across the city, across Cook County. And as we are facing changes in the landscape and need, we have recognized that it is time for us to grow our in-house mental health therapy offerings directly, because we really need to focus on issues of
Is there a common thread in some of the challenges that you're seeing from people right now, or is it all over the board?
I would say generally it's all over the board. I think I was listening to the show beforehand, right? We're all feeling deeply the impact of things going on nationally, and we all carry that in individual ways, but in very broad strokes, very understandable, reasonable, right? It's not a mental health issue to respond with anxiety or distress when that's really warranted by the attacks on the community, the erosion of rights, the escalation of that we continue to see. And even prior to that, we know that LGBT folks are about twice as likely to need mental health care because of these sorts of systemic factors, and about twice as likely to experience severe mental health distress, but 50% or more less likely to be able to access it.
And the other thought... sorry, keep going, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you've seen like repercussions still from the pandemic and how that's still affecting people.
Absolutely. I think, we are still seeing that, particularly with our youth, changes in the workforce. I also think that we really collectively as a society have not really fully had any sort of meaningful process around. We went through a kind of large traumatic event together. I don't think we've really had collective grief. And people carry that in a lot of different ways. There's a heaviness. People can feel quite demoralized, I think, coming off of that as we face, again, really, really large-scale, potentially traumatic events or setbacks.
It doesn't surprise me. Thank you.
So you were saying how you are expanding the collective. What are the plans that are happening down the road?
Yes, so we are in the process of absorbing another queer behavioral health center that, through no fault of their own, was otherwise going to be forced to close. And that means that by, I think, end of February, March of this year, we're going to be able to officially, fully announce. So this is, sort of our soft launch phase.
A soft launch going on, yes.
Yep, that we are about to become the largest LGBTQ-focused nonprofit therapy provider in Illinois. We're going to have over 20 practicing therapists in-house.
Come on now, Chicago Therapy Collective.
Excellent.
Yes. I
love that.
Yeah, we're all about, we want to make sure that we want to close the LGBT mental health gap is really what we're about. We want therapy to be available to, every person at every level of need, regardless of their ability to pay. We think that these days we've all made lots of collective, really important inroads on awareness around mental health needs, whether we're talking about within the community or beyond. And now we're really doubling down and focusing on issues of access.
Have you been relying on any federal funds? Because I know a lot of social services here in Illinois are really hurting right now because of a lot of the cuts. Has that affected you at all?
We have been really strategic with our growth around recognizing that was probably not a safe thing for us to be relying on in any way, shape, or form right now. So we have strategically not positioned ourselves where we're reliant really on direct federal dollars. That said, we certainly have funding through the state and state partners, and we'll see how that continues to go. Currently, we work with folks, period, regardless of their level of need. So while we work with private insurance, we also work with Medicaid, and we have funding. We're considered a free clinic, so nobody's turned away, regardless of their ability to pay. And we feel really grateful and for our support from foundations and just kind of day-to-day donors. $25 with our model covers a session of therapy. $100 covers a full month of therapy within our model with our kind of mixed funder base. And we are really committed to making sure that our community members, when they start care with us, they're not limited. They're not asked to leave after a certain number of sessions. We're able to make that long-term commitment to them.
See, this is why I love you guys so much over there. So what, as you are looking to expand, and thank you for the soft launch of that news, what sort of services do you provide now, and what are you hoping that you might be able to expand upon once you, as the collective grows?
Absolutely. We are not just wanting to focus on kind of more therapy appointments, but we also recognize that we look across, our beautifully diverse community, lots of different types of therapy offerings or health and wellness, kind of experiences, services, serve different people best. So we offer a lot of, kind of traditional one-on-one talk therapy across a variety of modalities, but we're also offering art therapy. We have a really incredible sex therapist on staff. We have folks who are doing more experiential, right? You can come in and you can have meditation services. You could do a sound bath. If these sorts of more community-based offerings are more your entry point, then we want to meet you there. We're doing a lot of partnering with community partners. And looking forward to having our clinicians be on site across the city with some of our community partners, so folks can receive care if they want to in person without having to kind of travel around. We're also accessible through telehealth, which means we are increasingly getting a lot of interest across downstate folks where access issues are particularly intense. I think something that I don't know if folks realize, but Illinois in general has a behavioral health provider shortage. We have about one therapist for every 450 residents across the state.
Oof.
Oof. I think we were ranked maybe about 29th in the U.S. in terms of our availability. So As we're growing, our team is really, we're so excited about our colleagues and their talents that they bring to offer. We are also simultaneously launching kind of a clinical therapist workforce development program, if you will. So we're going to have a clinical incubator where we are really investing in the professional growth and training of emerging licensed providers, because part of why we have this shortage in the state is that providers are overworked, under-supported, and they burn out and they leave the field.
Yeah.
And, you know, for those of us who are members of the community and the causes and the issues are especially personal, that's makes our work more impactful, and that risk of that burnout goes up a bit. So we are really intentionally structuring things so that we can lower those risks. We can invest in growing the number of truly competent and available clinicians in the field, and expanding the need and access needed as well.
Oh,
definitely
y'all are just amazing. I'm just telling you, it's like it really is. And I love the fact that you also look at a more like holistic sort of approach to mental health, is like with the art therapy, and you know, having the nurturing the creative spirit as a way to also help nurture your mental health. Yes, y'all do just some incredible work. And if you are thinking about therapy, you need a little help, or would like for someone to talk to, we cannot recommend the nice folks at the Chicago Therapy Collective more. So you can just head on over to chicagotherapycollective.org to find out more information about this incredible organization. Lindsay Doyle, Director of Clinical Programs and Psychologist, thank you for taking time out today to join us, but also thank you for, and congratulations on this expansion. Now more than ever, we need the good work that you all are doing.
Indeed. Yes. Thank you, Lindsay.
Absolutely. And, yeah, thank you for having us. I'm going to make a shameless plug as we close out here. We certainly are, you know, as we're growing and expanding our access, we're certainly looking for support, whether it's spreading the word, reaching out to us for services, or perhaps becoming a monthly donor. Only less than 2% of charitable giving goes to mental health causes, and you can imagine how small that number gets when we look at the needs of our community specifically. So feel free, whether you want to reach out for services, you want to reach out to make a donation, any dollar counts. Chicago Therapy Collective. .org.
There we are.
Beautiful.
Lindsay Doyle.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you for that shameless plug. You're amazing.
Thank you.
All right, we've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the second hour about Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Think Theory Radio.
I'm very privileged to have on a special guest, Tim Ains.
We put together a team of experienced investigators. There's certain things that happen to abductees that they all talk about. And people have seen things like missing time, or they might have marks on their body. And it's interesting when somebody in India and somebody in Des Plaines, Illinois, and somebody in Fiji all have the same mark.
Think Theory Radio with Damian Perdue. Saturdays at 6 p.m. on WCPT 820.
Facts matter now more than ever. This is WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk. We're your source for truth.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carton. European leaders are meeting in Brussels to discuss President Trump's Greenland tariffs. An EU Council spokesperson says diplomats from all member nations are taking part in today's emergency session after Trump announced new tariffs on Denmark and other European allies until a deal is reached for the U.S. to buy Greenland. Today, EU leaders warned in a joint statement that the tariffs, quote, undermine transatlantic relations, adding we will continue to stand united in response. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is defending President Trump's plan to impose tariffs on Denmark and its European allies who don't support the U.S. taking Greenland. Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, Bessent argued the tariffs are a matter of national security importance.
This is a geopolitical decision, and he is able to use the economic might of the U.S. to avoid a hot war.
His comments come as the European Union is set to hold an emergency meeting to discuss President Trump's Greenland tariffs. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey says it would be a shocking step if President Trump were to deploy the military to Minnesota under the Insurrection Act. Appearing on CNN's State of the Union, Frey says the move is clearly designed to intimidate.
If the goal here is safety, we've got many mechanisms to achieve safety. The best way to get safety is not to have an influx of even more agents, and in this case, military, in Minneapolis.
The mayor also called for ICE to leave the city, saying that people will see calm in Minneapolis once they do. Elon Musk is demanding that OpenAI and Microsoft pay him damages. In a court filing Friday, Musk's attorneys claim he was defrauded of $38 million in seed money he donated to OpenAI when he helped found it in 2015. The filing says he's now entitled to a percentage of OpenAI's current $500 billion valuation. You're listening to the latest on NBC.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
When you leave the office, catch up on what you missed on the way home with Patty Vasquez. Weekday afternoons from 5 to 7.
Because we have so much to talk about every day.
Driving it home with Patty Vasquez.
And as you would imagine, that would mean that folks want to call in and join the conversation.
Only on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
Mind over matters.
Dr. Amy Harris-Nuan, as you know, this show is about challenging you to think differently, to make different choices in your life, to take action, to create positive outcomes in your life. So I want to challenge you to look at your life holistically. To where am I satisfied? What areas need attention? And then go to work, take in action what you need to do.
Mind Over Matters with Dr. Amy Harris-Nuan. Sundays at 10 a.m. on WCPT 820. Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
Welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, just rolling along.
Yes, we are.
On a chilly day.
Keep warm with us.
Keep warm, especially as we go to the 5:30 kickoff at Soldier Field with the Bears and the Rams, who are in Los Angeles, not St. Louis.
Correct.
Anymore. And it's going to be cold.
Yes.
It will be 8 degrees.
I would rather be home than at the game.
How do people do it? I don't like, I get diehard fans. Well, that's not going to help. That's just to make it worse.
You know, there's electric things. There's electric coats, electric scarves. So you're going to put.
Are there any, like, here's a fun fact. I've never been to Soldier Field. Out of all of my years.
Never been to a concert?
Never been to a concert there. I've never been to Soldier Field. Are there little heating things that happen around?
Not
when they put the spaceship on top.
There's suites, but if you're not in a suite, you're out in the elements, you know.
Oh, all right.
There's no heating elements.
Stay warm
what do you know,
there.
Paul?
I think the concourse is exposed to the outside.
Yeah.
So you're in it. Yeah.
Okay, but when they put the
Got that nice
spaceship
wind
on
off
top
the
of
lake.
the thing, they didn't put like little heat lamps?
Not that we know of.
Yeah.
Well,
they should have little drones with heaters that flow over people, just go from row to row.
Just gonna breathe.
There'll be somebody with their shirt off, you can be sure.
Of course, I know, and they're probably from Wisconsin. It drives me crazy when it's this cold and people are out there in wearing their little shorts out there.
Drinking lots of courage, that's for sure.
I know. Well, anyway, we've got a great second hour lined up for you. A little bit later on this hour, we're going to be speaking with photographer Kelli Connell. Her work she's getting an exhibit at the Elmhurst Art Museum called Living with Modernism. We're going to be chatting with her a little bit later on, but right now I'm very excited. Timeline Theater Company. Girl, what a great company. They've been around for 30-some years. A long time. They are finally getting a brand new space that's going to be opening up in Uptown. But right now, they are presenting the Chicago premiere of the Tony Award-winning play Eureka Day, which is a sharply funny satire of progressivism, parenting, and public health, and tackles one of the defining questions of our time. How do you build consensus but no one can agree on the truth? Interesting. Sounds timely. And joining us now is one of the fabulously talented members of the ensemble cast, Aurora Adachi-Winter. Aurora, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for taking time out to join us, because I know you are in previews right now. How have they been going?
Oh, they've been so good. You know, this is the kind of play that really thrives with an audience. I mean, like all live theater, the audience is your final cast member, and this one, we really needed them. So it was just wonderful going into previews. And yes, we've got another preview, 2 previews today.
Come on. There we go. So the play, Eureka Day, takes place at an ultra-progressive school in Berkeley. What's going on at Eureka Day School?
Yes, so the play centers around the executive committee of the school. It's made up mostly of parents and then the head of the school. And they only make decisions by consensus. And when there is then a mumps outbreak at the school, at a place where half of the parents vaccinate and half of the parents do not, it becomes a conversation of how do we move forward, how do we make everyone happy, and how do we protect our children.
Well, if you could solve that, you'd be solving a lot of things in this country. It's heady stuff.
Yep, it really is. And I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but how do you make everyone happy, you know?
Yeah. My guess is you don't. So
Don't give it away, Scott.
Well, I mean, come on. It's like consensus is really hard, especially when you're dealing with, people in there.
Consensus was easy. Everyone would do it.
Why, thank you so much for that, Aurora. So what is the character? Who do you play in Eureka Day? That Timeline Theater Company is now presenting the Chicago premiere with Broadway in Chicago.
Yes. I play Meiko. She is a Berkeley native. She's a single mom. Her daughter, Olivia, attends the school a day. She's figuring out a lot. She's specifically written as half Japanese, which I happen to be as well. And she's also exploring the world of polyamory, which, is a fun one.
Oh, that is, wow. There's a little left field kind of coming in there, like, oh, okay. I'm sitting here listening to this because the play is still in previews. It hasn't opened quite yet, and I'm very excited to see it. I am feeling all of these very sort of triggered sort of emotions. I used to be a teacher at a private school in Memphis, and
oh wow,
yeah, and just kind of hearing like how this Eureka Day School operates and how vastly different it was from my experience. But it's also just kind of like, oh, the parents, and it's a private school and all of this sort of stuff. What was your rehearsal process like? I mean, you were under the brilliant directorial eye of Lillian.
Yeah. Yes, Lillian this is my second time working with her. I'm so thankful and grateful to her. She is just a wonderful, brilliant director. And I think what she did so well was she and Timeline just got all of the right people into that room, because this is a play that it's funny. It's a satire. It's a comedy. I mean, the audiences during previews have just been laughing nonstop, especially during one particular scene that's about halfway through the show. It deals with very serious subject matter, and it can be a room that could feel like you're walking on eggshells a lot of the time. I think what Lil did so brilliantly was just create a really safe, open space. We've had really personal conversations in the room, and I think that created a base for us to be able to tell this story with authenticity and honesty, and also the ability to take risks and know that no one is perfect and we're going to make mistakes, but no matter what, before we go on stage, every show, the cast all says to one another, I've got you, I've got your back, and we're going to do this.
Did this role click with you right away, or was there some moment that it all kind of made sense when you were in rehearsal?
It definitely took some time. Meiko doesn't talk the most in the play, which personally I'm thankful for. This is one of the most difficult scripts I have ever had to memorize. And Rebecca Ward and Gabrielle Lott, who are really in the most of the dialogue, I am in awe of their memories right now. But it really, no, seriously, and it's so word specific, and the way that it's written. Jonathan Spector is an amazing, brilliant playwright. It's such a smart play, but gosh, is it hard to memorize. But with Meiko, it took a number of runs of the show, and I'm really thankful to Lil for having us do as many runs as we did. I think we did a first run through of the show on our feet, like within the first week of rehearsals.
What?
And at that moment, I think we were, yes. And I think we were all like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
I think we all said it was like holding on to the back of a train is how it felt. And now we're all at least, okay, I think we all have all of our feet and our limbs are on the train now, and it's still going very fast.
Right.
We're keeping up. Yeah. So it took a number of runs for me to get into what Meiko's internal monologue is, because what she says is very limited, but what's happening inside is a lot.
Got it. Okay, makes sense.
Look, and this is why I love previews as an actor. It's so great because you, like you said, the audience is the last character, and hearing what lands, what doesn't land, and just kind of figuring out the whole beast of the play, because it sounds like Eureka Day is a very challenging script, as you just said, just with words, but having this luxury of being able to, like, all right, let's all go out there as an ensemble. One of my favorite things on the planet, which is just such a Chicago theater thing too. It's like, it is the ensemble, and being able to go out there and, like, all right, let's go out there and figure this out together and how we can move. Has the play, how has the play changed since you've started previews?
I would say technically, like blocking-wise and intention-wise, I don't think it's changed too much. I think we've definitely added a lot of small nuance to it. Yeah, and we've all been talking about how I don't think that we will get to the end of this run, whenever that is, and I don't think we will have mined everything that we possibly could from the script, because there is just so much. And it's such, again, I'm going to say again, it's such a well-written script that it allows you to just discover everything in the moment, and that's how it becomes authentic. And you just never know what it is that's going to come to you on that particular day on stage. But as long as you remain in, like, the world of the play and who you are and the thing that you want, it's going to work, and it's going to push that story forward.
Has it evolved as far as certain scenes? Have they changed much since you began rehearsing?
Let me think. I mean, I think we all got in there. After the first read-through, I really could see what the play was going to be, and that was such a gift. Obviously, things have changed. I think our most challenging aspect were the costumes, because we had 7 scenes, and they all take place on different days. And when we are not on stage, we are furiously changing our clothes. I think my quickest one is 12 seconds.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
Those are my favorite. But don't you kind of love that, too?
Yeah. And I'm so thankful for our wardrobe crew backstage. They just have their whole run sheet of everything that goes on, that comes off, where it needs to go, where it travels. It takes so many people to make this play happen.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, see, I want to be in a play again. I love it.
You should.
I know.
I didn't know that you were an actor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a hot second.
I'm so glad that Chicago's getting a crack at this show, because I think, you're right that Chicago's a very ensemble-based community and city, and I think that is bringing so much strength and depth and honesty to our show.
Because we get it. We as Chicago theater folk, we understand, like, what it means to be an ensemble, to be a part of something bigger. My question for you, because I have not read Eureka Day. Again, I know very little about it. But what makes the script so challenging? Is it the language? Is it far too is it casual as well as being have these big lofty ideas?
It's very train of thought. Like, no one has thought about what they're saying beforehand. So the script itself has a lot of ums and that's, and you never really know, okay, does the that go here? Does that go there? It could go many places and the sentence would still make sense, but you need to get it right. And it's just so how people talk, like exactly how I'm talking right now. It's not the most perfectly written sentence, but it's how actual human beings these days talk and communicate.
Right. So it's hyper naturalistic, and you're like making discoveries in the moment. And of course, when that sounds super duper easy, it is also very, very specific. You're like, oh wait, no, that should have come after this word as opposed to before that. Yeah, I totally get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or they like go back and restart a thought, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely insane. But I think props to our whole cast because I think we're killing it. I think we're doing a great job.
Do you ever look back on like the first production was done in Berkeley, I understand, in 2018 at the Aurora Theater Company, and then it was done off Broadway, and then in London, and then on Broadway in 2024. Do you look back at other performances, or I'm not an actor, or do you just want to do it fresh, your way of interpreting it?
I chose not to check out any of the information of the other productions, specifically because I just wanted to do the process on my own. It actually was last week, once we were, solidly into previews, and I felt like I had finally discovered what may, not everything, because there will always be discoveries, but finally felt like I had a hold of what was going on in her brain. That's when I was like, all right, let me check out some of the clips and some of the newspaper articles that have come out about the other productions, just so I can see how it was that other people, staged things, and if there was anything drastic that I felt like I was missing or something. But yeah, it was nice to be able to go and look at it, and I'm obviously very biased, but I think that our production is going to be super exciting and unique.
It's timeline, of course it is.
I know, and you got PJ Powers, triumphant return to the stage.
Yes, and he is perfect in this role. We have this scene that takes place pretty much on like a Zoom type platform. And he came into rehearsal the other day, and he had been on a Zoom that day for the Theater Guild or something like that. And he said, I felt like I was being punked, like it was a prank, because it was so meta, and the chat was going on the side, and people are like, how do I unmute myself, and all of those kinds of things, which is all part of, you'll see in Scene 3. Right. No one cares what we're saying on stage in Scene 3. It's all about the Zoom.
It's all about the chat that's going on. Well, what do you hope when folks finally get the chance to get down to Broadway in Chicago's Broadway Playhouse at Water Tower Place to see Eureka Day? What do you hope folks leave with?
I hope that they come away with a sense of how do we protect ourselves, but mostly how do we protect our community. And I think you're seeing so much of that today, these days. People are putting themselves at risk to protect their neighbors and their communities. Yes. And those are the challenges that we are facing today. It's very real. And you've got to think, what are you going to do with your time and your ability right now?
Beautiful.
All right, Aurora. That's a lot. That's a lot to leave with, but how exciting it is. So if you make sure you get your way down to Timeline Theater Company's Chicago premiere of Eureka Day, it is now playing through February 22nd at Broadway in Chicago's Broadway Playhouse at Water Tower Place. For tickets and info, you can head to BroadwayInChicago.com. Aurora Adachi-Winter, thank you so much for taking time out. I know, especially on a two-doche. So thank you for that, and break all the legs as you are heading towards opening.
Thank you so much, and go Bears.
All
Go
right.
Bears.
And go Bears.
She's a true Chicagoan, aren't you?
There you go.
Yes, you are.
Oh, yeah. I went to Walter Payton College Prep. I've got all the sweetness gear.
Oh, I love it. All right. Bring us good luck today. Thanks.
Have great shows today. And again, the show is Eureka Day, presented by Timeline Theater Company with Broadway in Chicago. It is at the Broadway Playhouse at Water Tower Place. Head to BroadwayInChicago.com. Aurora Adachi-Winter. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All righty, we've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are speaking with photographer Kelli Connell. We've got a new exhibit in the Elmhurst Art Museum, so stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
This is a WCPT Civil Rights Snapshot. Many know of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but few know of his right-hand man, Bayard Rustin. Rustin was born in 1912, raised by his grandparents, who taught him the Quaker values of peace and nonviolence. In college, Rustin grew an interest in socialism, joining the Fellowship of Reconciliation, working with them for 10 years before Rustin was fired and arrested for being caught having sexual relations with another man in a parked car. But his time there wasn't for nothing, as it was there he met A. Philip Randolph, who convinced Rustin to meet with Dr. King during the Montgomery bus boycott. Rustin, along with writings from Gandhi, urged Dr. King to accept pacifism as a way of life. Rustin showed brilliant strategies and organization skills, which led to him organizing the March on Washington, having thousands of people attend. However, this partnership would not last, as Dr. King distanced himself from Rustin after Congressman Powell threatened to use Rustin's sexual orientation against Dr. King. Rustin continued to work with Randolph for civil rights and gay rights until his death in 1987. Please stay vigilant about our civil rights. The fight is never over.
If you're drowning in debt, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender, about a fresh start debt consolidation refinance. Today, meet Jordan, 47, project manager, married to Jackie, 43, executive assistant, combined income 260 G's a year, living in a $600,000 home with their 3 kids, called to pay off $120,000 worth of credit card debt, high interest rate consumer loans, and 2 401k loans. Team Hochberg loan officer Cindy Piazza helped Jordan and Jackie pay off their debt, eliminated their stress with the Team Hochberg Fresh Start Debt Consolidation Refinance, which saved them over $12,000 a year. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That number again is 855-563-2843 or visit that website you know and love, 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 1124061.
Bag huge savings with Menards 15% off bag sale. Prevent diesel fuel from gelling in colder climates with Howe's Diesel Treat. It cleans and lubricates fuel injectors and is effective to negative 20 degrees. Get a 64-ounce bottle of Howe's Diesel Treat for $10.99 after you put it in the bag. Now through January 24th. Plus, get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Hi, this is musician Homer Mars, and welcome back to Out Chicago on WCPT.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller. Rolling along on a cold day. And hey, just Monday on Live, Local, and Progressive, Joan Esposito will be off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. She's back on Tuesday and will be joined by retired Army Major General Randy Manner. He's the former acting vice chair of the National Guard Bureau and a current member of the National Security Leaders for America. Democratic content creator and author Brooklyn Dad Defiant. I always love him on the socials. And Spencer Critchley, author of Patriots of Two Nations and host of the Dastardly Cleverness in the Service of Good podcast. That's Live, Local, and Progressive, weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 AM, heartlandsignal.com, and tune in. That's what's happening on Monday, but what's happening right now. The Elmhurst Art Museum presents Living with Modernism. Kelli Connell, showcasing 2 series by the Chicago-based artist. The exhibit places queerness, power structures, and shifting ecologies in the 21st century in conversation with 2 giants of modernism, Edward Weston and Mies van der Rohe. And joining us now is artist Kelli Connell. Kelli, welcome to the show.
Hi there.
It's good to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. How would you describe your work?
Well, what I'm presenting at the Elmhurst Art Museum is pretty exciting and significant, at least for me. They will be showing two different bodies of work, one entitled Pictures for Karis, which will be in the main gallery, and then a commission for my ongoing Double Life project that will be shown in the Mies van der Rohe house there on the museum campus.
Fantastic. So for folks out there who might not be as familiar with the term modernism, what exactly is that?
Well, so modernism, let me think back. So Edward Weston was one of the key modernist photographers. He was interested in straightforward photography that focuses on form with no compositing. Everything is presented as it's seen in its most natural environment. His black and white photographs are exquisite, and he's known as like a master of photography. Mies van der Rohe is an architect who's well known that some listeners might have heard of, and he's one of the very first architects who designed a glass house. And so there is a glass house on the campus, and that's also paring down form to just show concrete, glass, open wood paneling to where you're completely enveloped in thinking about just those materials alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you drive down Lakeshore Drive, you can see some Mies van der Rohe buildings
Fullerton.
right there.
Yes. So you, if I understand correctly, Kelly, you went back and recreated some of the photos using the same natural landscapes that were in the original that Weston did, that Edward Weston. And how did those landscapes, how have they changed over the years from what Edward Weston saw versus what you captured?
Yeah, so what I did actually is I kind of got enamored by, or I guess you could say a crush on in some ways, his partner, Karis Wilson, who was a writer, and I wanted to know as much about her as I could. I had learned about her through my art history classes by seeing Edward Weston photographs of her rolling down sand dunes or laying nude in a pool, but they were simply titled Nude, 1939 or Nude, 1934, and I didn't know who she was at all. So it was only until maybe 10 years ago that I found out her name and realized she was a writer and that she had collaborated with Edward Weston on a project called California in the West that was published in 1940 and included 20 chapters of her text and 96 photographs made by Weston. And Edward Weston was the first photographer to receive a Guggenheim Fellowship.
Oh, wow.
And he and Karis went out west together, the two of them, on 17 different road trips, and he made over 1,100 8x10 format negatives while she kept an extensive travel log. And what was published was that book called California in the West. So 80 years later, me and my previous partner, Betsy Odom, who's also an artist here in Chicago, we went out west to try to make work in the places where they had either lived or worked together. And I photographed with a 4x5 camera. Edward used an 8x10 camera. And I guess it was really fascinating because some of the scenes looked very much the same as they had 80 years ago. And then other scenes have changed a lot based on climate change and our own man's own destruction to nature, or reusing the land in a different way. Big Sur area in Point Lobos definitely has a lot more erosion than it did 80 years before, but there are parts of Death Valley or Yosemite that look almost exactly the same, which surprised me.
Yeah, I would hope that some things look the same, but I fear that a lot wouldn't, due to climate change. So it's kind of Edward Weston used his partner. You used your former partner. It seems like it's kind of deeply personal. I mean, how do you know where to let the personal and the professional, drawing the line, I should say, a little bit in how you represent your former partner?
Yeah, well, truthfully, I've always been interested in relationships and photographer-sitter relationships in particular. The body of work I'm most known for is called Double Life, and in that work I'm working with my friend and model Kiba Jacobson, and we've been working together since 2002, and the new work that will be shown in the Mies van der Rohe house is of Kiba. So for that whole time, since 2002, I've been working with her, but also researching and looking at work by photographers who have worked with one subject or one model over a long period of time. I became so fascinated with Karis Wilson primarily because she was with Weston for 11 years, and I wanted to tell their story starting at the beginning of it, where it was full of desire, and it was, at the very beginning stages of their relationship, and trace that through the time that they were in a comfortable companionship to when they got married, and then through the last pictures he made of Karis in the 1940s until she left him in 1945. So I was interested in their relationship as a whole to tell that whole story, which then opens up a possibility for me to tell the relationship of me and Betsy as two queer artists out on the road. That's very different from how heterosexual couples might have been seen, or how two male photographers out photographing out west. It's very different. Betsy and I had to be really careful in more rural places because of our relationship and identities, and Betsy looks really androgynous, so that was just something we were more aware of at the time.
Makes sense, yeah.
So all of this information, please forgive my ignorance, is this all from Karis's writing that you discovered? I mean, because as you discovered, she's a writer, and was this journey was it through the writing, or was it in and clearly the writing was in conversation with the image?
Yeah, so what happened was I read her writing as I was looking at, Weston's photographs, which truthfully, from the beginning, I wasn't a huge Edward Weston fan because I had seen his images in books, and the reproductions weren't as gorgeous as they are in real life. Once I saw real Edward Westons in person, I liked them, so much better. They became much more poetic, but Karis as a writer was just very frank and hilarious and engaging, and it made me want to learn more about her. And I found out that her dad was a famous writer in Carmel. His name was H.L. Wilson, and Karis's great aunt and grandmother were also writers in the Carmel bohemian scene. And Karis wrote her own autobiography when she was in her 70s called Through Another Lens, My Years with Edward Weston. And the reason she wrote that book is because after he passed away in 1958, over the decades, because she outlived him by several decades. But over those decades, he kept getting reframed and turned into a myth or a person that she never would have associated with based on how other people were writing about him or telling stories about him. So she just kind of got infuriated and would cut out articles and underline things with a red pen. And she just wanted to kind of set the record straight as best as she could by telling her own story, which I think kind of freed herself too, to not being seen as simply his muse or a model, but also someone who had agency, who was a really strong, independent woman and free spirit, but also actually helped me to see Edward Weston in a way that was much more free and non-conformative than I had believed him to be. So that's the kind of surprise. So my work is at the Elmhurst Art Museum is 45 large-scale photographs that you'll see on the walls, and then 48 of Edward Weston's images that are shown in vitrines in the center of the gallery. But then I published a book called Pictures for Karis in 2024 that's 20 chapters of text that I wrote that also includes writing by Karis Wilson and pictures by Weston and myself. So you can read more in that book too if viewers are interested.
Yeah. So how do Pictures of Karis and the other exhibit, Double Life, how do those two have a conversation with one another?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one exciting thing about the new commission for the Mies van der Rohe House, so Allison Peters Quinn, the curator at the Elmhurst Art Museum, asked if I wanted to do a commission for the Mies House with my friend Kiva Jacobson, who's the model for Double Life. And I was thinking, well, what could we do that was a little bit different than the normal way that we work? And I was very much interested in the architecture of that house. And I did research and learned that the woman who had lived in the house at the time is Isabella Gardner, who was married to Robert McCormick, who owned the house. They were, husband, wife. They lived there together. And Isabella Gardner is a poet who had published 2 books while she lived in the glass house. And she also was an editor for Poetry Magazine, which is based here in Chicago as well. So because Karis was a writer, and then I found out that Isabella Gardner was a writer, that was kind of my connection. Yeah. And I read her poetry, was really, excited about her poetry, and that gave me ideas about what I could photograph in the house. And we came up with some really fun ideas based on Isabella Gardner's poems. And one really exciting thing for me is that I photographed with Kiba in the house, and then the final photographs are installed in the places where they were made. So the architecture has a direct conversation or relationship to the pictures. So it should be really fun for people to visit and see that.
Oh, it sounds like it. Do you have a hope of what people might take away from your photos after spending time with them?
Yeah. Well, I think in general, my work is really empathetic and about love. It's also a little bit melancholic and possibly painful, but so a wide range of emotions. But I feel like my work can offer people a place to see multiple sides of themselves and for their own identities to have a broader way of being in our world, so that they could hopefully women can feel like they could show a more masculine side of themselves if they want, or men could show more sensitive sides to themselves, but all of us are afforded a broader way of being. As far as the new commission for the Mies van der Rohe house, what I hope is that people learn more about the woman who lived in the house, not just thinking about Mies van der Rohe, this great modernist architect, or Edward Weston, this great modernist photographer, but really think about the women in their lives who were also independent and strong and creative and made great work themselves.
Yeah, about the people who inhabit the spaces as opposed to just the space itself.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's going to be quite the exciting exhibit that's going to be out at the Elmhurst Art Museum. Living with Modernism, Kelli Connell, opens January 24th and will be on display at the Elmhurst Art Museum through April 26th. For more information on the exhibit, you can head to elmhurstartmuseum.org. And as you drive on out to Elmhurst, you can take a look at some of the Mies van der Rohe buildings that are here in Chicago to prepare for it. Kelli Connell, thank you so much for joining us today. And I never know what to say to artists as they're getting ready to open something. I break a leg, married, all toy,
Good
all
luck.
of that stuff.
May many people see your work.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Take a picture, I guess you could say, instead of break a leg.
There you
I
go.
don't know.
And if folks want to find out more about you and your work, how can they do that?
I have a website up, yes. It's just kelliconnell.com.
All right. Kelli Connell, thank you so much for joining us
Kelli.
today and to take a picture.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you. We've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments of Out Chicago right here on WCPT.
Hey, I'm Dr. Kristen Lyerly, and I'm bringing you real conversations about the issues that matter most. Healthcare, politics, culture, you name it. Every week, I sit down with newsmakers and friends, and we break down what's happening and what it means for you. It's smart, it's fun, and it's unapologetically progressive. So join me on Saturday at 5 p.m. right here on WCPT, Chicago's Progressive Talk. The Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show. Let's do this.
WCPT Replay.
Joining us now is the brand new executive director of the Gender Cool Project, Chase Glenn.
I'm a trans man who grew up in a small conservative town in a pretty religious family, and this was back in the 70s and 80s when we didn't have the internet. We didn't have, necessarily a whole lot of support even for trans folks, and where I grew up, I didn't think I knew anyone who was trans, didn't hear any stories about trans folks. And so my upbringing really just, as I was able to discover who I was, just set me up for sort of understanding the importance of the support and the stories that organizations like Gender Cool tell.
Keep listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
Jose and Laura came to Brookfield Tax Planning worried about their taxes. After their free, no-obligation tax reduction review, they discovered they'd been overpaying $8,100 every year for 28 years. That's $227,000 of hard-earned money gone forever. Why? Jose and Laura's financial advisor did nothing to reduce their taxes, and their accountant records history after the year ends when it's too late to use legal, proactive tax reduction strategies for business owners and retirees. 94% of Brookfield's clients discover they've wasted thousands for years due to passive advisors. Brookfield Tax Planning reviews your returns free and can show you how much you're overpaying, how to plan ahead now to stop it. You risk nothing. But this may be the most profitable hour you'll invest all year. Call Brookfield Tax Planning at 708-485-3439 or visit BrookfieldTaxPlanning.com. That's BrookfieldTaxPlanning.com.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome. Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
Hey, this is Kathy Richardson, America's sweetheart from Jefferson Starship, and you're listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago.
Yes,
cracks me up.
Yes, she does. America's Sweetheart worked on a video over the weekend. Some of you might have seen it. I saw it on Jimmy Kimmel last week. A Minnesota protester shouts down this reporter from Real America's Voice, and just doesn't let him get a word in edgewise. It's hysterical, and she added music to the video. It's starting to go viral. It literally just hit late last night, and you can find it. It's going to be on YouTube and some other and Instagram later. But right now, you can go to Threads, and you can go at Kathy Richardson on Threads, and you can take a look at this hysterical video. I just showed a little
these
bit of
Minnesota ladies that are out there protesting are bringing some major uncool, like moms with no chill energy, which is great because they're just mocking them. Like all the reporters that are there, like the conservative reporters, they're just out there doing their moms with no chill.
They are
kind of vibe. And like, he's got nothing to say.
He's a big man. You're a big man.
You're a smart man. I don't think she thinks he's smart.
No. But check it out. It's fun and it's funny, and we need that right now.
There we go. Yeah. Also, make sure you check out Monday on Driving It Home. Patty Vasquez will be joined by guest co-host Jesse Rojo, community organizer and chair of Illinois Veterans for Change. That's Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And hey, while we're talking about stuff like that, did you know that Out Chicago is available in delicious podcast form? Yes. In like 2 different kinds of podcast form. You got the full episodes and you got the featured interviews, and they're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeart, YouTube, and Amazon Music. You can just search for Out Chicago with Scott Duff and Ella Miller, or visit our podcast page at heartlandsignal.com/podcasts. The latest additions to our featured interviews podcasts are Owen Keenan, author of Gay Chicago Memories, 1300 North Wells, and of course the wonderful, incredibly bizarrely talented Susie Eddie Izzard, and Shannon Lynn Parker, CEO of Equality Illinois.
It's an embarrassment of riches. Listen to the whole podcast.
Listen to the whole podcast. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
There.
And okay, so we've been talking about like supporting people and everything, and people often ask us what they can do to support the work we do at WCPT and Heartland Signal.
Yeah.
All right, so as always, the best way is to support our sponsors and to tell them you appreciate them advertising with us. But if you're on Facebook, there's another way. You can now subscribe to the WCPT 820 and Heartland Signal Facebook pages. A subscription is just 99 cents a month. We will have some special offers for subscribers coming up soon. So visit us, WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, and Heartland Signal on Facebook, and hit that subscribe button.
It's that easy, and it's only 99 cents.
I know.
A month.
I know.
$12 a year. What's that?
Come on.
To support our voices here on WCPT.
Yeah,
all of the voices.
Especially as we're heading into an election year. We are in an election year.
Yes, we are.
That's going on. We just got to make sure that we keep on having our voices heard.
Yep. We are.
Like we said with the HRC. I'm telling you that going back to... we started off the show, there were the Human Rights Campaign that released 2 different reports that came out this year. One is called, what is the exact words? 1 year in. And it really takes a very unflinching look at what the first year of the second term of Ding Dong is doing with LGBTQ folks. I think it's important for people to read it. You can go to the Human Rights Campaign and they will, hrc.org, and you can go and you can download the whole playbook, I guess is not the playbook, the report of what's going on there. And you can actually see the numbers and the data of how our community has been affected and continues to be affected with this, especially when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to people making money, because a lot of companies have gotten rid of their diversity, equity, and inclusion components. So a lot of people have lost jobs or they're been fired and all sorts of stuff like that is actually affecting our communities here. So I highly recommend reading it just so you can kind of see what is going on. But also make sure you stick around and read 1 Year Out, which is their other report that they published, which is all about how we are moving forward into this year of elections and where we need to be focusing our attention and what we can do just in like our daily lives. We may not be running for office. Right. We may not be running, for any sort of big thing, but we can make a difference within our communities by being visible. I'm still shocked that about 50% of people are in the LGBTQ community have reported that they are less out than they usually are.
It's sad and shocking. I mean, it's like I said earlier, it's going backwards, which no one wants to go backwards.
Right.
We fought so hard to get where we are. I'm sure a lot of that is in areas, outside of big cities. I mean, we here in Chicago are still, staying the course. Our governor, our local legislators, we are keeping Chicago an equal rights center for the country, and we always have been. We've been a leader in that in Illinois. So, but
thanks to Rick Garcia.
Yes, thanks to people like Rick Garcia. But there are places, in Illinois and all over the country that don't feel the safety of a big city and the love of a big city. I'm seeing more trans people than ever in Chicago in my daily life.
Yep.
And that's reassuring. But there are other parts of the country that are probably not seeing an uptick in people being their authentic selves. And I can't imagine why. No, I can. And so it's important to show up for yourselves, for your fellow. If you're an ally listening to this show, and we have a lot of allies that listen to our show, get out there, show up in any way you can to let people know that we are not accepting what's going on at the top in this country right now. We are not accepting it. We will not go backwards.
Yep. No, we won't. But unfortunately, we are right now. That's the part that's just still kind of. It's just flabbergasting to me. The fact that people are being driven back into the closet, the fact that people are being fired, the fact that we had the opportunity multiple times to pass the Equality Act, which would guarantee just the same rights.
The fact that it's so hard under even Democratic administrations. It's been, why? Why is it so hard to want equality for everybody?
It's because of the Republicans in Congress.
Yes.
That's what's going on. That we've not had a stronghold on both houses when this has been presented.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the truth. And we need people to be out and proud and loud more than ever.
Yeah. It seems like they're good at obstructing, but they don't do anything, constructive.
Yeah. Well, again, they are very good at telling people what they stand against.
Yeah.
They don't say what they're standing for. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes sense. I'll say it again. Equal rights for others does not mean less rights for you. It just doesn't.
Hammering that home, because it seems like something that should be very simple to understand as a good human, as an American, as someone that believes in democracy. It's so patriotic. Equal rights for all.
Yeah. Well,
what it doesn't take away from they think it infringes on their, when they tell
How?
because they're told lies that their son's going to go to school a boy and come back a girl. They're told lies like that.
And I don't.
And they're
just
dumb.
Then they're dumb.
The truth has been scarce among a whole group of people when they listen to and watch certain forms of propaganda that they enjoy, that they think that's the real. We talked about it, touched on it. Finding the truth today. How does that genie? How do we put that genie back?
You can't. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. There's a lot going on right now, and I will say it again. The future is analog. I strongly encourage people to limit their social media consumption right now. I really think that if we want to make a big impact, get people to just drop their social media usage just in half. Just in half. We all get little screen time updates that come in on Sunday and everything. You take that moment and be like, oh, okay, I'm spending how much? You also be shocked at how much time you are spending a day staring at your phone.
Yeah.
And it's like
we watch a TV show, and the minute the commercial comes on, Kathy and I both pick our phones up.
Right.
We cannot commercials drive me crazy anyway. But this is the society that we've become. You're in line at a checkout line. You pull out your phone. You're in a waiting room of a doctor's office. You pull out your phone. I mean, it is like our teething ring. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it too.
No, I know.
We need.
No, I know.
I'm constantly, I think, looking for some hope, Scott. I'm looking to see that something that is helping our cause.
But when you don't find the hope, why continue to scroll?
I know.
That's the thing.
Maybe you'll laugh at some video like Kathy Richardson's.
Laugh at Kathy Richardson's video, which is really funny.
Yes.
But I don't know. This is just an idea floating out there.
I agree.
It's. I think we're going to be more engaged when you engage with people that you are actually with, as opposed to like people who are on a screen somewhere. I just think that we need to be thinking about what your consumption is, because when a product is free, you are the product. Just remember that sort of thing. So anyway, not to be too dramatic and everything.
Go Bears!
Go Bears! Yes, the Bears are playing. Tomorrow is
Martin Luther King
Day. Yeah. Just remember the words of Martin Luther King: darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So let's try to lead with love this week. And that brings us the end of another show. I want to thank all of our guests. Where are all of our guests? I have so many notes here. Lindsay Doyle, Aurora Adachi-Winter, and Kelli Connell. Paul, so great to have you here in studio with us, running the show. Thank you so much for doing all that. And Matt, thank you so much for running everything back there where Paul usually sits. Ellen Miller, you're going to be off next week.
I am going on the legendary Rhythm and Blues cruise next weekend. I will be off for a week. I'll be back on February 1st. Is that the day? Is that Sunday?
I think it's the second, I think.
The second.
Yeah. I don't know the date. It's the first
February
week.
1st, I believe.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, as long as we're accurate on that date as opposed to the first Sunday in February, we'll be seeing you then.
I'll see you on that
Enjoy
day.
your time away. We will miss you. Tanya Richard will be
She'll do
here.
a great job as always, I know.
She will. And I'm Scott Duff. And until next week, stay
proud.
Step into a world of obsession, seduction, and shocking consequences with Salome at Lyric Opera of Chicago, January 25th through February 14th. With Strauss's electrifying score and a powerhouse cast, this intense one-act thriller will leave you breathless. Experience the drama and danger of Salome live on stage. Tickets at lyricopera.org.